Never in the history of the world have the merchants of obscenity had available to them the modern facilities for disseminating this filth. Disseminating this filth. The onslaught of the communist masters of deceit.
Pinko Commie Slutz. Pinko Commie Slutz. Pinko Commie Slutz. Pinko Commie Slutz.
Hello.
Hi, Marlo. Hi, Steve.
Hello, everyone.
What is up?
We're part of a Ponzi scheme.
We are?
Yeah, Marxism is a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, yeah?
Are you referring to that tweet by that guy?
It's a lady congresswoman to you.
Oh.
Lauren
Yeah.
Babbert. Is that her name?
So.
Is that the one that everyone talks about?
She's a QAnon lady,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think.
that lady.
They mostly talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, okay, that's who I was asking.
Yeah, there's two of them.
There's,
there's
yeah.
two.
I mean, there are two of them.
And we are the leaders of a Ponzi scheme. We
Yeah.
need people to give us their money. We're going to take it. We're going to say we're going to redistribute it, but then we're not. And then we're going to keep it.
Well, actually, I think the premise is that a Ponzi scheme is kind of taking someone's money and giving it to someone else is generally what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give it to, like, people in charge, I guess. The global elites. We're going to give it to the global elites.
Yeah.
That's who we're going to give it to.
Marxism is the greatest Ponzi scheme ever devised. That's how
Bill-
she put it.
Bill
Ever.
Kristol had the best take,
Oh, yeah?
where he went through who Ponzi was,
Okay.
compared
Oh, God.
it, and said Marxism has done much worse for humanity than any influence by Ponzi.
Ponzi was just some dude, like maybe 80 people were involved. I don't know that.
Well, the idea is this, idea that to do a Ponzi scheme has influenced others to do a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
Where Marx also influenced others to do Marxism.
Oh, wow. Wait, I'm getting persuaded.
Yeah. Marx told others
Two
to do
things.
Marxisms, and that led to death and destruction and, the flourishing of states that then wanted to destroy freedom. So it is kind of like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I get what they're saying. It's just wrong, and I don't care.
Wait, I know. We all know that. Everyone
Really?
knows that. We're all in this knowing that it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on a klezmer kick lately. The Duolingo Yiddish coming out just all bleeds into different things.
Okay. All right.
What would an Anglo-Saxon caucus look like?
Oh, yeah. What are these Anglo-Saxon political traditions?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that from, too?
That's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She says, or she's part of a group where they are looking to preserve the quote-unquote Anglo-Saxon political traditions. Hilarious.
Yeah, considering that, like, specifically the Anglo-Saxon political traditions were displaced by Norman political traditions in 1066, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And the other interesting part is that Anglo-Saxon systems put emphasis on compromise and arbitration.
Well, yeah, it was a lot of just, you should pay this guy money because you murdered his son.
For the listeners that don't know, what happened in 1066? There was something about a Norman invasion, right?
Yeah, this guy named Norm.
Yeah.
Invaded
It's actually, that's just a shortening of Norm and them. So,
Yeah.
Norm and them. And
Well,
they...
Norm showed up at a bar and he
Yeah.
was like,
Where everyone knew his name.
where everyone knew his name, and he's like, give me a beer. And then they were like, go Red Sox. And that was basically the Norman conquest. Go Red Sox. Yeah, like, what's the Anglo-Saxon tradition that we're supposed to be rooting for here? Is just a clever way of saying white people?
Yeah,
Or,
it's not even a clever, because again, like, if you're going by, like, you know, as a lawyer who went to law school and understands what the general historiography of, like, legal genealogy in the popular academia is, it stems from Normans, not Anglo-Saxon.
the first time you said it, I thought you said Mormons. I was very confused for a half a second.
From North France, Normandy.
Yeah, I know that now. I was like, why are the Mormons in 1066? That's like recent.
Well, because their religion is correct and Jesus already visited America at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a Mormon caucus also. Have them battling the Anglo-Saxon caucus and just get real religious tribalism on this.
Yeah, Joseph Smith did try to create a tradition he called theodemocracy.
How'd that work out for him?
A few low-level wars with the United States until eventually the Mormon stranglehold on Utah politics was crushed through military force, and it was incorporated into the rest of the U.S. Yeah,
they got Utah, so I mean, good on them.
Prior to like Utah actually becoming a part of the United States, it was this weird fucking like what they called a theodemocracy, but like was very much a theocratic government in the Midwest.
Yeah, because the Mormons did go there and settle it intentionally.
Yeah, and like
part of the plan.
Literally every elected official was basically handpicked by church leadership until what are called in history the Mormon Wars and the Utah Wars, were two subsequent wars the U.S. fought against Utah.
Okay, if the Anglo-Saxons caucus broke off and started a war, who would they be fighting? Would they be fighting the Mormons?
I would think the Normans or the Britannans, depending on when this is.
Well, it's 2021. And who are today's Normans?
People from Normandy? Normandy is still a place. Saxony is still a place. All these places still exist. I don't know. We're all just from the Caucasus.
Bunny, who do you think they would fight?
Probably some trans-dimensional demons that they summoned by accident.
Oh, yeah. They're fighting the Jewish space lasers.
If we're talking about 2021 possibilities.
They're fighting...
Grendel?
Yeah.
Grendel's mother?
2.0.
Well, that's Grendel's mother.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it was.
There already was a Grendel 2.0.
Yeah.
And then there was a dragon who, in the book Grendel, talked about nihilism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was one of the better Pokemon.
Nihilism?
I mean, in general, I see this as just like evolved versions of Pokemon that Beowulf has to fight.
Have you read Grendel, the novel?
I read Beowulf.
Yeah, no, because my English teacher, we read Beowulf just to read Grendel, which was actually quite good. Like, just this sort of philosophical novel written from Grendel's perspective.
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised you haven't heard of it.
Yeah, no, I knew that it came up.
I mean, you know, I last read it in high school, but yeah, my teacher like absolutely sold it to us as, yeah, I hate Beowulf too, but you're going to read it because we have to. And also I'm going to make you all read Grendel next, which I actually like quite a bit.
Is it the first book?
No, Beowulf being the ancient poem.
Right.
Grendel is a 1971 novel.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's totally...
Well, isn't it considered like the first story that was written down in general, Beowulf?
I mean, that would be...
No. Ridiculous, Steve. What?
Yeah, no.
What
And
kind
like,
of
Bunny's going to be really angry at you for this. Because like everything written
in English literature.
Okay, yes. In the English language,
yes. But, you know, it's like...
I'm amending that statement.
In the... Gilgamesh, I think,
it's in Old English.
Typical wrong answer for the first written thing ever.
Well, I know the first official novel is Robinson Crusoe.
Excuse me, do you not know what the first written thing is?
Well, isn't the first novel that Japanese shit? Tales of Genji?
Again, English novel is Robinson Crusoe. I'm in the Crusoe, yes. I'm in the Anglosphere here because I'm in the Anglo-Saxon caucus, defending my Anglo-Saxon genealogy here, which I feel like goes back to the Vikings. I feel like if you're gonna defend Anglo-Saxon, you're secretly talking about the Viking.
But isn't even the term Anglo-Saxon itself a contrivance?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and also the Vikings were like absolutely different people than the Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah. Anglo-Saxon is like a purposeful, like the elites of this land were like, we're going to make up a new group that we all are.
I mean,
because they were all disparate Germanic tribes and fucking...
Yeah, basically the Germans invaded the Britannics, who then got invaded by the Normans, and then England, or whatever. And then the Vikings invaded later.
Yeah. I'm looking at a book called Saxons, Vikings, and Celts.
But yeah, check out the 1971 novel Grendel. So if you've never come across it, it's definitely worth a look. Grendel, according to the author, is modeled on Sartre.
Well, he kind of looks like more like a frog than a dragon.
Well, actually, I could see the like argument for just he's the swamp monster of philosophy.
Okay.
Grendel wasn't a dragon. Grendel was a swamp beast, probably a giant, but he is famously not really described that much. The dragon was different.
I could definitely see Sartre hanging out in a swamp.
And having that weird Jewy relationship with his mom.
And his partner, right?
Yeah.
I know that they were infamous for like having an open relationship.
Oh yeah, no, that's like,
and then he just fucked all his students.
Yeah,
you know, as you do in like 1950.
As you do in every philosophy department through the modern day.
Yeah, and especially if you write like a lady boner of a book called Being in Nothingness. Yeah, that's what gets him. That's what gets him wet. Right there.
That'll do it.
Or even better,
existence before essence.
La nausea.
You're in a bar, this dude walks up to your girl and says existence precedes essence. What do you do?
What do you do?
I don't know. Fuck him, especially if you're like 15 or whatever.
I
wasn't there scandal like also his wife would go out and procure these women for him?
Yeah, no, they absolutely had some French shit going on. Like, did de Beauvoir?
Yeah, de Beauvoir. They were together.
Wait, who was Frida Kahlo with?
Diego. What's his
Didn't
face?
Frida Kahlo also have an ugly boyfriend who they both...
Did Frida Kahlo fuck Sartre? Let's find out. I want to know. My Frida Kahlo knowledge is I do always refer to the Selma Hayek movie.
I know de Beauvoir is like the life partner.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. They just hung out a bunch.
As you do with like the only 10 so-called Western socialist philosophers.
Yeah, no, in the 1960s, like, the only thing to do was just hang out with, like, Che Guevara, Simon de Beauvoir, Frida Kahlo in Mexico.
Or go on boating trips with...
Che Guevara? I wasn't sure if you were...
Weren't they on a boating trip for a famous picture with Castro as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I was thinking of the Grama, the boat that Guevara and Castro invaded Cuba with.
Yeah, always hanging out in boats. Well, welcome to Pinko Commie Slutz, where we're discussing...
Hey, Tom, I didn't know you were a boatsman. It's a line from Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Yeah.
What else?
Everything is depressing. I don't know.
Everything is pretty depressing.
Just fucking people dying. I can't turn on the TV without just people dying. There was like 3 shootings today and like 10 this week. Every day.
How's New York handling the protests?
I haven't seen any.
No?
Are there any in New York? I didn't.
Hey, man. Yeah, I mean, there's always something going on, but yeah, I mean, it's kicking up again, and we're about to have the Shiv inverted.
Yeah, I've heard that. They're not marching down my street, Bushwick Avenue.
I just imagine between, Chicago, at least.
Yeah. Hasn't really seen any interest here, just heard about it through the wind.
And Midwest Brooklyn looks like a fucking police state.
Midwest?
Yeah, Brooklyn Center.
Brooklyn Center in Minnesota.
Yeah,
right?
I got really very little to contribute to that.
No, the only thing I got is tramp stamps.
Oh, yes, the band you're into suddenly.
Yeah, ironically, and very into for 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's philosophic connotations to them, so.
All of them, yeah.
There's signs and signifiers at work. They're like Milli Vanilli for the 21st century.
I don't know if I would go that far. At least Milli Vanilli got a Grammy.
Yeah, Milli
which they had
Vanilli,
to give back.
which is bullshit. Milli Vanilli was just live action gorillas.
What?
Milli Vanilli was
I thought
gorillas with a Z.
Yeah, okay. But they had real people that performed gorillas music.
Yeah, sure. Yes, and real people also sang Milli Vanilli songs.
Yeah, but like live performances, they didn't. It was lip syncing, which was like mind blowing to somebody in the 80s. How can they do that?
I think
crazy.
it was early 90s even.
Yeah.
Remember the Hannah Montana on fucking Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that shit ruled.
I thought it was her sister, right?
Miley Cyrus's sister.
Yeah.
Noah Cyrus.
I forget when they tried to do that.
You mean Ashley Simpson?
Oh, that solves all of our fucking brain damage. Okay.
Who is Jessica
Right,
Simpson's
yeah. We
younger
got all,
sister.
got it all.
I just know that she started doing the jig dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She started jigging.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I
Yeah,
forgot
she
about The
did.
Simpsons. Those Simpsons. Forgot all about them existing.
But yeah, tramp stamps, major controversy
Yeah, explain this.
on the TikTok.
Otherwise, I'm going to start talking chess drama.
All right, there's this band, pop punk chicks, and they had a song called I'd Rather Die, which awesome. And their main hook was I'd rather die than sleep with another white cis guy. Yeah, I mean, it's a bop. Then Reddit started digging into their past, and they're signed by Dr. Luke, who I didn't know anything about until Bunny told me all about it.
Yeah, Dr. Luke sucks.
Yeah, actual.
I mean, well, he
terrible
doesn't.
person.
He's a terrible person, but obviously he doesn't suck at producing music.
Yeah.
So
Or not facing consequences for his actions.
that's true.
Yeah.
Free Kesha.
Well, yeah, the Kesha controversy. And these girls all kind of look like Kesha, or like early punk versions of Kesha, which was Kesha, I think. And they're all white cis girls, and one of them's married. I don't know. They brand themselves as queer and have like a very faux punk attitude, and it's transparently, this is my problem with the story, the transparently industry plant designation. I hate this because industry plants are just like the industry working. That's all it is.
it's
like you with corruption, Marlo. Like,
Right.
where corruption is just capitalism working correctly, industry plant is just an effective corporate model for getting a band to make money, which they are. And by the way, all this controversy is just, I mean, it made me click on it, you know.
It feels like it's a bunch of Zoomers kind of like learning what pop punk is for the first time after pop punk wasn't a thing for a little bit.
Which is nice.
Yeah, like good for them. Good to have those realizations, and then you can listen to just hardcore that sounds unlistenable to.
Yeah, and I see him as like, I don't know, weird Avril Lavigne, where they say everything a little bit too on the nose when it comes to rebellion, to the point where you're like, these people aren't being sincere.
Pop
No, yeah, which is beautiful. I love the insincerity. I just love the insincerity of
Yeah,
their
no,
music.
it's like a McRib, you know, like you don't eat it because it tastes like rib, you eat it because it doesn't taste like rib.
And anybody expecting sincerity doesn't know how this shit works. It's just great. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about the ladies. One of them's married.
The ladies.
One of them's married. I'm standing and defending them despite their obvious problematic qualities, which I think it seems like Dr. Luke is a terrible, terrible human being, but he also seems like the Weinstein Company of music.
He has produced a lot of songs there.
Like who, Bunny? I don't know what he's done.
Well,
Other than raping Kesha.
he did TikTok. He did a bunch of Kelly Clarkson songs back in the day. He did Since You've Been Gone, Behind These Hazel Eyes. He did some Miley Cyrus songs, though, too. He did Wrecking Ball.
Oh, shit, that was him?
I think he did Katy Perry, some Katy Perry songs. He did I Kissed a Girl.
It just is kind of what early 2010 sounded like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he also worked with like Doja Cat. Like, it's not as if these girls are the only people who post the Kesha stuff coming out have some of this is like they're having songs come out. Who knows how long after they could have been aware of whatever. And I mean,
in defense of the controversy, I will just say, like, it's fairly rich selling yourselves as, you know, countercultural products. And yeah, we all know it's bullshit. And then be produced by Dr. fucking Luke, of all people, is
yeah, that's true.
Like, fairly on the nose there.
See, that's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean,
That's,
like, you're just like trying to push this like queer chic line and like kind of like third wave feminist line, and you're produced by Dr. Luke.
Well, I put it into my category of corporate anarchism, which is a term I'm trying to make happen. It's exactly what you just said, the kind of co-opting of anti-capitalist or anti-authoritarian or anti-this by clearly corporate sponsorship in order to produce capitalist realism, you know, and to have it be this kind of feedback loop between the anti and the production in order to produce more. And I listen to a lot of radio with alternative music, and I gotta say, it's pretty big right now to want to die and make alternative music. Like, all the songs I hear, there's one song that's called Serotonin by the Girls Wear Red or something, which is just like the hook is my serotonin's running low. Like, really hitting it on the nose a little bit.
That's the Felix line after Obama made his bizarre, like, rap is about getting, like, bling and bitches or whatever statement, and Felix is like, no, modern rap is, if you're a dude, it's about wanting to take so much Xanax that you stop feeling anything, and if you're a chick, it's about how you're very horny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is kind of what this song is about. It's not rap, but a lot of the rap on the alternative station is that kind of SoundCloud rap, which is...
Yeah, I want to take a bunch of Xanax and not feel shit. Like,
yeah.
That's literally the...
That's all the Post Malone or the Machine Gun Kelly.
We're all in our early 20s. We've all been going to therapy since we were 8 years old, and
and we all want to die.
We all can relate to doing a shitload of Xanax.
And for these girls to come out with their hit single called I'd Rather Die Than Sleep With Another Straight White Guy.
It's just very on the nose.
Yeah, it is like just Freudian death drive. This desire for destructive elements. Or at least seeing things through this all or nothing, I'd rather die than blank, or if I do something, then I'm going to die. You know, and all these alternative songs all have that. I was just listening to, and Offspring comes on, and it was that song Self-Esteem, which is like just proto-incel anthem. Yeah. They all just want to die, and they have since like Kurt Cobain.
No, that's the thing. They took a break in the early 2000s, and now it's coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, it went from Kurt Cobain, everyone wants to kill themselves, to then like the early 2000s, you have this very like capitalist realism end of history shit where it's just like, oh yeah, no, actually being commercial is cool and everything rules, and just buy products and be happy. Unironically, this is what you should do.
Also, Nirvana was that too.
Well, I mean, Nirvana was a, albeit somewhat feeble, protest against that, at least ostensibly, although it was also, of course, in Fisher's words, pre-corporated into that.
Well, as Fisher pointed out, Kurt Cobain realized that the best protest against MTV was to do it on MTV.
Right. Yeah. But like the ostensible conceit was all these things are bad. And then there was a point in the early 2000s through 2010s where it's like, oh, actually,
all these things are good.
Yeah.
And corporations are the most rebellious things.
And like, let's stop being sad about stuff and just like, hey, this is shiny and cool. Don't you like shiny and cool things?
But now it's like corporations are endorsing the be depressed.
Yeah, which, you know, again, like that's always been the sort of relationship. But yeah, well, I mean, now, especially with like the wave of post-modern Twitter accounts by corporations, like you just have Wendy's being like, oh my God, I want to slit my wrist today. And yeah, Steakums actually does rule. I'll give Steakums their shit.
Yeah, give them their
Steakums actually is cool. Steakums like calling Neil deGrasse Tyson out on his pop science bullshit. And then like also Steakums, I don't know if you saw this, but had this very long thread about how every corporate Twitter account post, stating the obvious, but how like every corporate Twitter post is carefully calibrated to increase publicity and business in a positive manner, including this one. It was like, Steakums is interesting in how they're going about it, but there's definitely a schizophrenic aspect to like brands talking to you about life and stuff.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Bunny? I have lots of thoughts on this.
I hate it because it's one of these things that's creeped into normalcy that also I would take a job writing it in a minute, you know?
Well, because they're the only ones that have money.
Exactly.
The only ones, literally the only people that will pay you are these people, which is why I don't give these poor girls that I'm standing right now so hard. I don't blame them because there is no alternative.
Yeah, Bunny, are you giving your honest thoughts about Michael Shea and the writing of Saturday Night Live? I think not.
Did you call him Michael Shea?
Michael Shea Guevara. I don't know.
They don't love this.
It's C-H-E. I don't care how you pronounce that.
He says
okay, cool. Whatever. It's a crapshoot. Your name's C-H-E. I'm going to pronounce it however I'm going to pronounce it. And I hold the same thing with Shea Guevara.
So you would take a job for Steakums, Bunny?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But see, I can't. I would take that job, but I wouldn't be great at it because I'd want to say something not good for the brand.
But like that will be ultimately good for the brand. I mean, like again, you should look at Steakums' account.
Well, if it was literally Steakums, yes, because that's part of their online presence, pretty much.
Like Steakums' way to harm their brand is just to like promote Steakums, honestly. Mm-hmm. Also, interestingly, I recall that Steakums patented a cut of beef. They were the first ones to cut beef from a certain part of the cow. Which part? I don't know.
Probably some butt part.
Anyway, my weird parasocial obsession has, of course, been the chess drama, which is being called the drama in the online chess circles.
Yes, I'm privy to this to some degree.
It's just funny because there's just these fucking weirdos who live in the world and exist, and they're fighting with each other. And then like a video from 2018 in the middle of some like lawn in suburban St. Louis popped up of these two chess grandmasters having a fist fight. Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
So who won the fight?
Eric Hansen did, and this podcast is very team Eric Hansen, team Chess Bros.
Yeah, Naka sucks.
Yeah, Hikaru Nakamura is
We're calling you out, man.
Yeah, no, we were fighting with Hikaru Nakamura. But yeah, it was also, if you saw the fight, it was one of those like fights where it happens when like a much less good at fighting but very belligerent drunk challenges a guy who actually knows how to fight to a fight. So the guy who knows how to fight doesn't want to hurt him, but like also needs to have the fight because otherwise it's never going to get settled. So the fight was basically just Eric Hansen got Hikaru Nakamura in a chokehold immediately as Nakamura flailed around and failed. That was back in 2018. The current fight started when Hikaru Nakamura got pissed off that Hansen flagged him in a bullet game and just went from there.
Is anyone writing the tabloid about, is there a chess tabloid?
I will say there's the Naroditsky statement, the Hansen statement, the Feingold statement. There's like been several statements both on YouTube and written down, and I've literally read all of them. I've been obsessed with this shit for like a week now. But I will say, Bunny, I totally have this Christopher Guest idea.
Yeah.
Like, Christopher Guest in the chess world is this just untapped idea. There's like Rex Singfield, who's this 80-year-old billionaire who lives in St. Louis and liked chess, so he just decided to spend a bunch of money to make St. Louis the chess capital of the world, and he did that. And so now St. Louis is the chess capital of the world. And there's Hikaru Nakamura, this weird fucking dude who's been like one of the best chess players since he was 12 years old, and he's socially awkward and odd. There's Eric Hansen and Amon Hambleton, who are collectively known as the Chess Bras. And they, back in 2015, really got the whole idea of chess on the internet off the ground by saying like, hey, what if we're like some Jersey Shore dudes who just play chess really good? And that's their entire brand. That's what they do. They play chess with like this blaring fucking techno music, and they rule.
You know,
let's
pitch it.
The premises,
husband of Jamie Lee Curtis.
The premises, they all gather for this like major like multi-level like tournament as the pandemic's over, and they're having this celebration, and drama ensues from all these differing weird personalities and like odd backstories. I totally got this.
Nice.
Like, there's this Eric Hansen accused Hikaru Nakamura's social media manager of threatening his ex for ever getting back together with Eric. She'd be cut out of any online promotion. There's so many like just random shit that, and then of course she had to make a statement. Like, there's so much shit. It's crazy.
Someone's gonna like deputize themselves the one who's gonna write this.
I definitely like, I have some ideas. There's at least like some cool side characters. There's like the Shahadi siblings who are just these two dudes from Philly who are both not the best chess players in the world. One of them's definitely a professional poker player. The other one is this like major promoter, entrepreneur, kind of venture capital-y guy. And they're both super obsessed with CrossFit. And there's videos of them playing like chess where every time someone takes their piece, they have to do 5 burpees. And it's this brother and sister duo from Philadelphia called the Shahadi siblings, Jen and Greg Shahadi. They exist. They're real human beings that exist.
I've seen them.
Greg regularly like writes articles about how like classical time controls are stupid, and how if chess was invented today, it would all be blitz chess, and that the chess world should move past classical time controls. And then like everyone gets in a huff about that. Greg just has these weird hot takes as he venture capitalistly invests in different like chess promotions.
So he's like the Elon Musk of chess.
And like Jen Shahadi also has this like really like amusing like kind of lib feminist thing going. She has a book out called Play Like a Girl that is a chess book of noteworthy games, but by all female grandmasters, rather than like, it's a very second wave feminist but chess idea that she likes to put forward. Yeah, no, it's like they're just like these neat characters who would fit perfectly well.
And they're all the most awkward people in the world. Yeah, that's the other thing that Marlowe isn't emphasizing, is that all of these people are just insufferable to be around in real life.
I mean, like,
as somebody who, well, you also only know them through parasocial, like These people, as somebody who grew up going to chess tournaments, they are just insufferable. Nobody talks to one another. Like, you're just wandering around hotel lobbies being awkward, like teenage level of impotence and arrested development for all your life. There's like 5 women who everyone pines after, and just toxicity reigns, but also like nobody looks at each other in the eyes because they're all just extremely nerdy people who are there because their parents put them through hellish training when they were like 6 years old. And yeah, it would be great for Christopher Guest because the same people that Christopher Guest is really good at introducing are kind of driven sociopathic people who don't have any self-awareness of how
which is very like Nakamura.
Yeah.
Like Best in Show is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Like you go to the chess world championship and you follow everybody on their journey to get there.
Right.
And you have these awkward interactions. And I mean, it would have to be well written, but yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
I was thinking like it would be like this kind of mega tournament at the equivalent St. Louis Chess Club where you would have the like super grandmaster bracket like in like a Singfield Cup thing, but then you'd have tiers below that which would go all the way down to you would have drama between the scholastic level, like the 12-year-olds with just the pushy parents. Yeah. You'd have that kind of drama and this like whole like chess mom drama going on. You'd have the stream.
Well, that was Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Right.
Like the father pushing.
Right. The setting, though, would just be this like, hey, we're having this celebration and we're celebrating it by having just this tournament where everyone's there. We're going to have a special like media star section of the tournament of all the chess streamers. So those would be the more like socially savvy, but also just sociopathic businessmen like people. You would have the super GMs who would think of themselves as gods and just be aloof and assholes to everyone. You would have the little kids who are like getting abused by their parents and just have like all these different dramas happening at multiple tiers was my idea. Yeah. And the other aspect of chess players is a lot of them are Eurotrash. Like a lot of them are just like the extreme Eurotrash.
Or Chinese.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
be honest.
Yeah,
There's a large contingency of people making the go to chess leap of faith.
Yeah, no, China like decided to start playing chess in the 1980s, and now they have several very strong players and kind of their own school. And they are an emerging thing within the chess world.
We said chess world. Well, yes, they're an emerging thing in the world.
Well, yes, that's it.
We're not going to be one of those podcasts. We're just going to talk about it in metaphor, how there's a creeping China influence.
Yeah, no, they're, yep.
It might even rival the chess people in America who have long seen themselves as the top nation for chess.
Yeah, the metaphor kind of falls apart there because America never viewed itself that way.
I don't know if the chess moms can compete with, like the dance moms of the world.
Yeah, again, this controversy
It's mostly dads.
Yeah, it is.
It's dads, for one thing. It's all their dads bringing their shit kids and telling them that if they don't win this game, they're not going to be worth anything in 20 years. Yeah, it sucks. Those people are just awful.
Anyway, Candidates Tournament restarts tomorrow after being put on hold for a year. So that's also happening.
Bunny, have you been Joker-fied this week?
Well, I super did not like the Anglo-Saxon political tradition thing because I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene could name one Anglo-Saxon. But the aspect that Joker-fies me is not even all the implications of that and etc. It's that I hate it when people just conflate all different kinds of historical periods.
Again, all white people came from the Caucasus. We know that. It's in the name.
I hate it. I watched on HBO Max the 4-part series Exterminate All the Brutes, which of course takes its title from Heart of Darkness. The doc was good. It was about how whiteness developed, which is one of my favorite topics. That's like the opposite of a jokerification. That's just me feeling fueled up with more facts to yell at a racist before I inevitably murder them. Because you know what, guys?
Which would honestly...
Feelings don't care about your facts.
Honestly be the most jokerified thing about you if you murdered them.
Yeah.
That's the final form.
That is true.
You mostly think about jokerifying and you're putting on the paint, but really... the pain is only just, it's a lead up to you with a gun in your hand in a subway with 3 frat bros and you being like, well, what do I do with this?
And I'm like, you don't even know what Brett Valda was. And they don't. And then, yeah. So I don't want to sound like I have a lot of knowledge about Anglo-Saxon things. I just know some history stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling what would be like an old, exhausted Joker-fied. I'm just tired. And the world, I also want to die, little punk girls.
You'd rather die?
Yeah, I'd rather die than it's all bad. It's all shooty. And, you know, frankly, I can't even use my Jokerification for anything cool because they'll catch me, guys. Yeah. Let's face it. I'll write it down too much. I can't remember. I can't organize my thoughts without writing it down. So it's a realization I did have this week. Also, I probably write it down digitally even.
Did you publish something?
Just because it's convenient.
Have you been publishing?
I have some essays that I want to publish, but then I keep holding back. I was about to, but then I got confused about what had happened over. I was just going to put them on Medium, and then I was like, wait, what happened at Medium with the editorial team and whatever? And then I went down a rabbit hole and I read a bunch about that and did not publish the essays, which I feel like was the scheme.
Yep.
Because that whole team didn't even know. They were still planning stuff.
Yeah, I had 2 essays published on Medium recently about anarchism, and I'm thinking about writing one about the punk girls. That'd be in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, it'll go in your
Avril Lavigne,
series.
Good Charlotte, Tramp Stamp series. Yeah, no, I mean, people are dying. That's cool. We're getting out of Afghanistan on September 11th. Johnson & Johnson. I don't know if we want to talk about that, Bunny, but...
Oh, God. That definitely felt terrible. That's the one I got. So it's not much you can do. Actually, that should have been my Jokerification, is how we don't have healthcare. I was going to
bring it up, but I wasn't sure. And yeah, that did seem like something that Jokerified you earlier on this week.
Yeah, no, I was really upset because I was just imagining that if I did have symptoms, because I am a higher risk of blood clots, and I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So if I did have symptoms, I'd have to go to the emergency room, and I don't have insurance, so then I'd just be signing up for some medical debt, and that all seemed very unfair to me personally, even though I thus far feel okay. But I did get sort of panic attacky about it, about the possibility, which I did not like, which I think I felt the most upset because it had crossed my mind to possibly not get this Johnson & Johnson, only because I knew it wasn't an mRNA vaccine. It was similar to how AstraZeneca was developed. So it was like, it had crossed my mind, but then everything said it was, oh, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't pursue one of the 2-dose ones. And then I was like, God damn it. And then every little twinge for 48 hours, I was like, Is it a clot? So yeah, that wasn't fun. I didn't like it. We should all have health care because I don't even have a primary care doctor. You know, there's nobody I can call who's familiar with my chart who can be like, well, for you, look out for this and blah, blah, blah. Though I do want to say somebody I went to high school with who is a doctor did reach out to me about my specific blood thing and told me some stuff that made me feel a little better. But, you know, you can't rely that just somebody that you kind of know who's a doctor or whatever is going to like give you, you know, even be able to answer a couple questions. So the injustice of it all was infuriating. And yeah, definitely. You know what? It was my Jokerification. It Jokerified me so hard that I forgot that happened this week.
Yeah, time is a mystery.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that it hit you so hard.
Yeah.
It's okay. I survived. And I'm still watching The Nanny. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'll put it that way.
Do you think that it was overblown, the response to the 6 blood clots?
I don't care necessarily because I did get kind of pissed off because people were like, actually, your risk of blood clots with birth control is like bazillion times more than what the shot is. And I'm like, yeah, I don't take hormonal birth control for this exact reason. I don't need to talk about the like absolute statistics and whatever because what's happening is I am having to rely on myself to advocate when I'm not an expert about whatever's going on in my blood, etc. And this is very frustrating. And if they had the abundance of caution earlier on, I could have just avoided the Johnson & Johnson shot. It does seem that these 6 blood clots are highly unusual. Like even with it's not as if these were necessarily predictable in any
It seems
context.
like, you know, yeah, we did kind of accelerate the approval process for these vaccines. There was a strong argument for doing so, but that doesn't mean there aren't any costs to doing that.
I'm not even necessarily concerned about that aspect because it wasn't an option.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, it's like, to me, the conversation of like, is it overblown or not? It's like, no, we don't. We kind of accelerated the approval process. Something's cropping up. It deserves a second look, and that's what they're doing. There was a perfectly good reason to accelerate the approval process, and that was the right call. But that doesn't mean like just because it's the right call, there isn't still a reason why we normally don't do that.
Well, yeah, precisely. When I was getting nervous, there were a couple people who obviously assumed that I was simply panicking on some like anti-science bullshit. And I just got to tell you, everyone, fuck off. First of all, almost none of y'all do anything in this capacity in your profession. If you're really concerned about people being vaccine hesitant or whatever, don't be a bitch. I've already received the vaccine. It felt very bad to just have it be this amorphous kind of, we're putting it on pause and it's blood clots and not like, hey, if you're at a higher risk, this is what to look out for, etc. As being like the information being pushed out. Some people definitely implied that people by this story were sort of participating in being anti-vax. And certainly I did see some people doing that. But honestly, fuck them. Like, fuck you if you're being smarmy, but also fuck you if you're anti-vax and you're like, see, fuck off, dude. Yeah, you know what? Now I hope it gives me super strength and I fucking can uppercut you into the sky. Like, I just... This is just the most boring timeline or so far, this time frame. When I guess we're all just jabbing people with these vaccines, seeing what's going to happen and opening at limited capacity. I don't know, guys.
Me too.
That's all I got.
Fuck them. I think that's a good way to end it.
This has been the Xanax episode.
Yeah. I always black out when I take Xanax. FYI. Well, because I also drink is the problem. True. I mean,
no,
don't
I
do
think
that,
we're saying to
listeners.
do that. Do exactly that and then listen to this episode. It makes it a lot better.
Yeah. This is lo-fi Pinko Commie Slutz.
Get to,
you can study
get to the end of the episode, decide to take Xanax.
Ooh, that would be a fun project for Matt. He should do a cut of this episode that's all to lo-fi.
Yeah. Pinko Commie Slutz, lo-fi beats to study to. Yeah,
Study slash
to.
relax.
Study to.
I don't know.
Study and chill.
To read
Study and chill
communism
too.
Mm-hmm.
to read all about communism.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Pinko Commie Slutz, lo-fi beats to.
Study and chill.
Mm-hmm.
Pinko Commie Slutz, lo-fi beats. To read all about communism.
Mm-hmm.